The sixth restart. Safety car has peeled off and now everybody's in the game.
And 14 laps to go. I reckon Jason Bright's gamble here was to put new tyres on. He probably doesn't quite have the car pace of the lead cars, so he's trying to cover it up with tyre grip. Brand new tyres will be his hope if the track condition can handle it.
This is how it stands. Mark Winterbottom is first. Craig Lowndes is second. Jason Bright third. In fourth, Stephen Johnson. Fifth, Greg Murphy. Behind him is James Courtney. Then we've got Russell Ingall, Alex Davison, Glenn Seaton, Paul Dumbrell. That makes up your top 10.
And they're all in the game, folks. They're all on the lead lap. They're all nose to tail. The debris flag was being shown there. It's slippery. They're tippy-toeing to the top of the hill. They're on slick tyres. The track's wet and slippery. Bridie's sliding all the way through Reed Park on cold tyres. He's really got his hands full. And Junior's all over the back of him.
He's trying to defend his position, Jason Bright, but they know. They know he's on cold tyres. Look at Stephen Johnson.
Whoa, wheel spin on McPhillamy, and this is a recipe for disaster.
Johnson, Murphy, Courtney and Ingall.
It's tippy-toe off the top. Winterbottom, Lowndes, Bright, Johnson, Murphy, Courtney, Ingall, Davison, Seaton, Dumbrell, the top 10. Jason Bright couldn't make it out. He's going to be passed here. He's wide. It was a slow exit. Junior's got warmth in the tyres. That's going to help him. Up on the inside, side by side. The Jim Beam car is ideally positioned, but Bright runs with him. He's got track position for the right-hander at the chase.
Amazingly gutsy. Johnson goes deep, really deep into the chase. He gets that spot off Jason Bright. Oh, something's gone off in our race leader.
Race leader, Winterbottom off the road, drops a spot.
Steady on, it's okay, mate.
That puts Craig Lowndes in the race lead. They all go firing past Mark Winterbottom. And the Dick Johnson Racing team were winners out of that as well. Stephen Johnson now comes around and muscles Bright out of the way for second place. Murphy wants a piece of it. Courtney's in the battle as well. What a fascinating finish to this race. 13 laps to go. Our leader, car 888, the defending champion, Craig Lowndes.
Lowndes has often got super skill in these conditions. We've seen it before.
We haven't prepped, it's your call.
Wets are there if they need them. But Bridie really suffering on those cold tyres. Lowndes, Stephen Johnson, Greg Murphy. Look at this pack.
That was the gap as they head up the mountain. Johnson had this car in the wall before the shootout. The DJR crew have pieced it all back together and they've fought their way back into spot, and now Winterbottom still sliding around. Contact with James Courtney.
He's down in 12th and he's got huge traffic problems to deal with, but Scaife was massively quicker than everybody on that lap. And he's in the trade.
We waited and waited and waited for this race to explode. And now it has. It's all opened up and Bright into the wall big time. That was a huge impact. He's managed to bounce back, but his day's done. He is out of the picture. So is Russell Ingall.
And one of the HRT cars there, Ingall off at McPhillamy. I think that could have been Mark Scaife in too. I'll confirm it for you. It's diabolical up there. You've got to pay Marks for having a go, but cold tyres have cruelled the day for this bloke and his teammate Adam Macro.
They were so close.
Okay, mate, there's a safety car out. We need to get you into pit lane as soon as possible.
So close. They came in and took a gamble and it didn't work. It was a big impact.
And Scaife is the other car involved, but separate incidents.
I just saw him shoot off to the left of our screen and went wham into the side of the wall.
Watch the leader, huge moment through the chase. 300 kilometres an hour, surfs out the other side, almost rolls the Castrol forward, gathers it up, drops a bunch of spots. The race has gone off.
And not for the first time, Craig Lowndes had to take evasive action at the end of the chase. This was his view of it. Look at Winterbottom goes off. By now, he is soaring through the air and somehow staying on the ground at the end of it. He'll come into picture again. Wham! That is out of control.
How's your heart rate?
A little bit lower, I reckon, than Mark Winterbottom's. That was the race lead going down. He caught the edge there. Oh, man, that's scary. That is really scary, and so is this.
Second time that Lowndes has been involved in something like that today.
This will unfold for car 25 up the top here. You'll see it. Oh,
That's
they both went
hit.
in. So
That's a
perhaps
mega
something
hit.
on the track there. And then Scaife as well. They all go in at exactly the same spot. Sparks fly.
See the wheel light up against the concrete.
The impact was already taken care of there by the Fujitsu car.
Ingalls, Scaife and Bright, massive experience and knowledge there, and all caught by the conditions.
Watch this. He'll lose it here. Slam. Another car's already gone off in front of him into the wall.
Should think.
I reckon that might be Winterbottom. Or maybe Owen Kelly in the picture. No, he's not.
I reckon it was Johnson. I think it was the Jim Beam car.
So Mark Scaife's day is over on lap 150 of this race.
They're going to pit. They're talking about bringing people in. They're talking about going to wet tyres. People are going to run the gamble here. And I think FPR are going to go wets.
Russell, have you got much steering there at all?
Not a hell of a lot. No brakes either.
To the garage.
You are a bit of a... No brakes either, so no one stand in front of it, all right?
Okay.
I intercepted messages that people are laying out for wet tyres at the moment.
I haven't seen at the moment if there are lap cars in between. When you go past next, we will update you.
Yeah, you've got Stephen Johnson, and Murph.
Here's another angle of that impact. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them find the wall there. Perhaps it was Mark Winterbottom who'd already got a touch up along the side as well in front of Jason Bright.
Now who's in? Team Kiwi have come in as well. Shane Van Gisbergen at the wheel. Debut at Mount Panorama in a V8 supercar.
Thanks, it all looks good. You didn't even get a touch on the wheel there, so make sure you have a good wiggle on the wheel and make sure nothing's going on. There's no...
Okay, there's the wets that I wanted to see. So FPR have got wets laid up for car 6, Mark Winterbottom, currently showing 5th on the computer.
Flashies.
And Murphy's going to stay with slicks. So they're all playing meteorologist at the moment. And the wind's picked up, looking at the flags on pit straight. Wipers ablaze at the top of the hill, gusty, blustery down here from the west. What's the western horizon look like? Actually, that's wet.
Car 10 back in 19th, that is wet.
Slick tyres on that stuff up there, not nice on this racetrack.
So that's how it stands. Craig Lowndes first in line behind the WPS safety car. Stephen Johnson second in
They
line.
got a problem. They got damage.
He did hit the wall.
He did hit the wall, yeah. So that may stop them for longer depending on what damage has been done. If it's just a rim, they're okay. And they've got wet tyres laid up. It is lap 150, and I think they've actually just rolled slicks out into the lane. So they're gambling. Wow. There'll be a burst of activity here. Can you believe it? All the work done by both these drivers today on target for victory, and it all goes wrong at the end of the day with yet another weather shift at Mount Panorama.
Winterbottom put that car on pole. Richards did a brilliant job at the start. They both performed so well. But time and time again, this race, the intensity of this race, continues to lift. So car 6 peels off. He'll have to dive it into the pits. Steering's not great. How much does this cost? 12 laps to go.
Someone will take the punt on wets, you'd think, because it could pay huge dividends. If you're down the order, you'd almost flip the coin. Hard if you're up the front of the queue. Too much to lose.
Front bar up here, please. Pull that front bar up here.
Just flat. Flat and very bent.
Slicks. But cold slicks are not going to help his cause either.
Fine. Yep, it's all good.
Is that a cold tyre?
Good.
That's the pit crew we can hear. We've got it mic'd up.
Well, if that's a cold tyre, then that's going to be a real handful too.
It is indeed a cold tyre, Neil.
Wow. I guess they had no choice with the damage, but that's going to make that real hard yards. I'd be inclined to have rotated them and put a cold one on the back, diagonaled them.
That sinking feeling for Mark Winterbottom at the moment. And Jason Bright, like you said, full marks for having a crack. It was an almighty effort. And then it all came unstuck at the top of the mountain on lap 151. You know what that means? This is a 161 lap event. How much can we handle?
Cruel twist of fate there for at least 5 cars. 5 drivers, in fact 10 drivers in those cars, slaving away for over 6 hours. Then it comes down to a weather shift. Let's take stock of the 5 cars that were most affected, negatively affected by what we saw just 2 minutes ago when that shower took hold and the restart under safety car conditions. So the big losers were Britex, Jason Bright and Fujitsu car, Holden Racing Team's Mark Scaife. Those 2 cars ended up in the sand at the top of the mountain at McPhillamy Park. Also involved in that incident was Stone Brothers Racing, Russell Ingle, car number 9 in the Caltex car that he shares with Luke Gilden. But at least that car back in the pits for them to make some repairs. They are a chance of getting back into the race and scoring a point or 2. Team Kiwi, Shane Van Gisbergen, car 021, as we have a look now at the tractor. Doing its best to clear that log jam at the top of the mountain in the narrow gap between the wall there to get rid of car 25, Jason Bright, and Adam Macros Ford, and HRT number 2, Holden Racing Team number 2, Todd Kelly and Mark Scaife. Of course, the 5th car massively affected, the car that's led the majority of laps today, number 6, Mark Winterbottom behind the wheel of the car he's sharing with Stephen Richards for Ford Performance Racing. Must have led over half race distance. There's Jill Johnson, wife of team owner Dick Johnson. So she's seen her share of dramas over 30 years or more of watching her husband race at the great race, and also her son now, Stephen Johnson, in 2nd position on the track there. So there's our new race leader. Craig Lowndes behind the safety car. We're back underway within a lap or 2. So the order behind the safety car, race leader there, car 888, Craig Lowndes. Then it's Stephen Johnson, number 17, as we go to the chopper shot of the cars going down Conrod Straight. I doubt that there will be a restart this time around. So at least one more lap.
Here we go again. A 7th restart. We are now on lap 152. Craig Lowndes is our race leader. Stephen Johnson second. That's Greg Murphy in third. James Courtney, Alan Simonson, Alex Davison, Glenn Seaton, Jason Bargwanna, Steve Owen and Paul Dumbrell are the top 10.
I had a glimpse at the western horizon and car number 26 in strife, Alan Gurr at the wheel here on the start-finish straight. And it doesn't look too bad, but it's still going to be slippery out there, and the tyres have cooled out yet again.
Remember, everybody's in the game again. Bargwanna in car 8.
Reporting rain at Reed Park, just where they're approaching now.
So this first lap, outside of safety car conditions, will be a very tentative one. In their minds, possibly in their cars.
You watch them go. If the track just dries up enough and it'll grip up like you can't believe, and they'll punch numbers at the end on the 152nd lap of 161. But it still looks pretty slippery right there, doesn't it?
It's very slow.
Can't begin to tell you how awkward it is on a slick tyre on a wet or semi-wet surface, and you squeeze the throttle down tiny increments and it just lights up with engine power and torque and wheel spin, and you drive right off the end of your fingertips as delicately as you dare, but you race other people at the same time. Radio reports are for more rain.
Greg Murphy, the lone Holden, in the top 6.
He's in the game here too. He's right there. Has a change of rhythm for what we're used to earlier in the day. Watch Murphy.
Johnson does so.
Little touch. Will burst the wheel spin just as it brings on the 600 netties.
That lap took 2 minutes and 28 seconds to complete. James Courtney, he wants a look as well. Murphy's on the outside of that, a little bit of contact between car 4 and 51. So here they come. Lowndes up towards turn 2.
Jill Johnson's seen this too many times. It's nerve-wracking.
She's watching her son try and hold on to a podium position. If not, try and claim this race. The Peter Brock Trophy up for grabs. Lowndes leads him up through the cutting. Johnson, Murphy, Courtney. The other Team Vodafone car has Alan Simonson in the driver's seat. The other DJR car has Alex Davison in control.
Who's done the fastest split in the first sector in the top 6 cars. In fact, Glenn Seaton faster than all of them, down in 8th. Remember those images back in 87, Ceto on slicks and the Nissan out of control and scary. 20 years ago and he hasn't lost a thing.
This is a very slow train. And it's led by Lowndes. What about the performance 7th of Steve Owen? The Autobahn racer, you see him there hovering over the back of Davison.
This is torture, isn't it?
They want to cut loose.
Engineers commanding drivers to alter brake bias, to change to the conditions. Look at this. Here comes Stephen in 17. Opened the batting beautifully on Thursday with the fastest time around here. Set the marker and set the tone for the weekend. To slip up when they had the crunch mid-weekend. But I tell you, he's got some pace at the moment. He's sweating on Lowndes.
He's not afraid to go deep on Lowndes either. He's on Lowndes' right. Final turn.
Someone's whacking into Glenn Seaton. And Junior's got to run. He'll get up the inside. This will be a pass for the lead.
Along pit straight we go. A big lock-up for Craig Lowndes. That will put Stephen Johnson in the race lead. Jill can't watch, but the rest of them have gone berserk.
But it's
now
not
Lowndes
over.
comes back up and fights it again. Side by side up Mountain Straight. This is so gutsy. James Courtney has gone into third. So he's got past Murphy.
What happened to Greg?
8 laps left.
Courtney's coming. He's in this too. What a nail biter. Hard to know where to look next.
There's Simonson, there's Davison. Johnson leads the race.
Looking down the top 10, Greg Ritter, 10th at the moment, and the fastest of everybody out there by quite a margin. But can he climb through them? That's the margin, first to second at the top of the hill. Stephen Johnson, Craig Lowndes, James Courtney, Greg Murphy. Forward, forward, forward.
This is the moment on replay at turn 1.
Murph ended up wide. Got up on the ripple strip then after he was side by side with Courtney, who elbowed him up a bit high, and he lost position as a result of getting on the paint.
You have to go back to 1994. There's a scary moment. 94 was the last time we had a Johnson win this event.
That's right at the gear change point there for Stephen. It arced up when he put it in the next gear. Here comes Craig. No room there.
Safety first, into the chase, but there's nothing in it. Can Johnson hold on to this here? He slides it out a bit wide. They are nose to tail.
What a contest.
James Courtney is sitting patiently. He's got speed as well, and he wants a crack. This will make it 7 laps to go.
Far back, a bit wetter this run down the bottom of the mountain. Just bring to a far back.
Softening off the anti-roll bar controls. Lowndes looks up the inside.
It's getting wetter and wetter, Neil, and Lowndes goes past.
And
there will be contact.
Stephen runs wide. He couldn't pull it up. Natalie watching. Craig to the lead.
But
Here comes James Courtney.
Watch out for James Courtney. He got the cleanest run through turn 1. He got the maximum speed up the mountain straight. But Lowndes pulls away.
What a race.
This is amazing. Johnson goes from first to third. Courtney moves up into second, and Lowndes gets the race lead back.
They can't find Dick Johnson at the moment. He's not in the pit. I don't think he can cope. It's been a very, very tough year. Couple of years, really, for Dick Johnson Racing. They need success, and Stephen is doing an awesome job at the moment trying to deliver it.
All it took was a little moment coming out of Forest Elbow for Craig Lowndes to know that he could have a crack further down the track at Stephen Johnson. He took the opportunity, but this man's the danger man, I reckon, car number 4.
It's a Stone Brothers engine in the lead car. Oh, Lowndes up on the curb. Stone Brothers car second. The car third has got the running gear in it from 888, the team that lead the race. Bit of cross-pollination with all these teams.
Greg Murphy, the leading Holden, he's in 4th. Stegbar Mountain Cam. It'll be a slower ride across the top of the hill this time. Forest Elbow. Now they apply the power down, and look at the slide. The rear starts to go away from James Courtney. He pulls it back. It's starting to go too for Stephen Johnson. He pulls it back. Straight line speed belongs to Craig Lowndes on this occasion.
Steve Owens moved up a spot. He's now 6th, passing Alex Davison. Oh, someone's right on the edge of the road there, tippy-toeing. I reckon that was Bargwana in the WOW entry in 8th. Yes, and in a bit of strife.
Greg Ritter takes that position off him. Alex Alex Davison, the other DJR car. This one with 6 laps to go.
Greg Ritter, the reason for the pace for Ritter is he's on wets. He's on wets. He can charge through these blokes at the moment.
He's doing it. You'll see him come into shot. Lowndes, Courtney, Johnson, Murphy, Simonson, Owen, there he is, Greg Ritter on wets.
I figured that somebody had to take a punt, nothing to lose. What sort of lap time's he done? He did a 2-minute 29 and he was a second faster than Craig Lowndes.
He's got a lot of experience here, Ritter. This is his 9th start and he's been as high as 4th. This will show us how Craig Lowndes got that lead back of Stephen Johnson. You want to know how wet it is?
Look, they're both absolutely at the limit of their braking and adhesion at the end there. Little bump and grind, slide up onto the curb. Craig glimpses the mirrors to see what's going on. Left, right, where are they? Eyes like dishpans. Adrian Burgess, team manager. Will Davison having heart failure there at the moment.
He's not the only one, Cromley. This is an extraordinary motor race. Who are you betting on at home? Are you willing to take a gamble?
So you keep asking me to tip. How can you tip this? It is unbelievable. It is so close. The level of skill being exhibited here is extraordinary.
James Courtney has fishtailed it through this section of the mountain twice around. He was 3rd here last year with Glenn Seaton. A big slide for Lowndes at the exit of Forest Elbow. Jamie Whincup, I don't reckon he can watch. Have a good lie down, Jamie.
Ritter still the quickest to the 2nd sector, but only just. The wets are not giving that much advantage. 5 laps to go at the end of this one.
An incredible test of skill. Changing conditions. Strategies all over the place. Restarts everywhere. Intensity off the scale. We've got a 2-time champion leading the race from a hungry pack. The youngster in James Courtney.
2:25.2 for Lowndes, 25.2 for Courtney, 25.3 for Johnson, 25.6 Murphy, 5.7 Simonson, and a 24.8 for Greg Ritter, who's now 6th.
Getting word that the radar is showing that the rain is clearing, so maybe Greg Ritter's gamble won't go any further. But he's certainly in the picture. They all are. There's Murphy, there's Simonson, there's Greg Ritter, car 34. Steve Owen, Alex Davison, car 8, Jason Bargwanna. Right behind him is Glenn Seaton.
Make the point that Mark Winterbottom is 12th at the moment, because our focus was with them for a large portion of the day. Let's not forget the great performance, but how heartbreaking to be out of this key battle.
There's a dry line appearing up the top of the mountain. And I reckon the fans up there hold their breath every time they go past, because absolutely anything could happen. 4.5 laps to go.
James was in trouble then. He was having trouble turning the thing over the top of the hill. Lowndes skating as well.
Concrete on either side. Elevation drop is a killer. Trying to control this car, these cars, takes everything you've got.
Doing a great job, Craig. Great job. Watch out for those painted lines, mate.
Mark Dutton on the radio. Engineer for the 888 car. Same message being given to Alan Simonson, 5th at the moment. He's got Greg Ritter coming.
There's Greg Murphy, a 4-time winner. He's keeping himself in the hunt. Nothing outlandish. There's only 4 laps to go. A little bit of push and shove between Bargwanna and Alex Davison. That's position 8 and 9.
21-1 for Lowndes, a 21-8 for Courtney, 21-9 for Johnson, 22 even Murphy, 21-6 Simonson, and a 22-4 for Ritter. It's the first time the tables have gone the other way. So the wets are beginning to hurt.
Track is certainly drying out. The battle scars are all over these cars.
The wets in these conditions begin to wriggle. The tread face starts to walk around. The tyre flops from side to side. It's a bit of an uncomfortable feeling.
Now they're starting to stretch out a bit.
Lowndes with a margin of 1.1 seconds last time through. Just easing the pressure a little. But no time to relax.
Our last back-to-back winners, Greg Murphy and Rick Kelly in 03-04. Lowndes and Whincup, of course.
Oh, Lowndes was right up on the curb then and slid all the way to the exit of the McPhillamy Park ripple strip.
Ross and Jim Stone watch their young charge. James Courtney, keep control. Can you imagine being in the cockpit, wanting to let loose, knowing that you have to hold back in these conditions, and knowing that every second goes by, time is ticking away. At the end of this, there'll be 3 laps left. Dick Johnson has seen everything on this mountain, and then a bit more today. Through he goes. Our race leader, Craig Lowndes. The gap last time around was 1.1 second. What will it be this time? Not too much different, you'd have to think. 1.3. 3 laps remaining.
Three laps remaining.
It has all come down to control. The wipers are back on furiously. And we've got a car in the wall. And that is in a very bad situation because that's right at the end of the last turn.
It won't get reversed.
Will they deploy safety car? Shane Van Gisbergen rotates it here. He went off there earlier in the weekend as well. 20th position when he went off the road. What does the race director do?
Well, they're certainly not howling down there.
I reckon he'll leave it there. Tim Schenken doesn't like to deploy the safety car late in the race. And the cars are not at full tilt in any case. And we heard a report that there may be some kind of a fuel issue for Courtney. When did he last stop? It was lap 131. Would have thought that it should make 30 laps in these conditions without any drama unless they've got something else going on. Who was that?
Could have been Lowndes. He went through first. Murphy's tagging up to the back of Stephen Johnson. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Look at the gap between 3rd and 4th. That's the difference coming past us now. Of a possible podium position. They're being warned about car 021. Off the track, be careful. Still big time speed through the chase.
Still a bit of rain on the screen here. That might be good news for Ritter. Still 6th. And still level pegging with those on slicks. Maybe a 10th or 2 slower, just.
They'll see the black Team Kiwi racer parked to their right. They'll be focused only on the road ahead. And for Courtney, for Johnson, for Murphy, for Simonson and Ritter, they're focused on those in front of them. Johnson gets right up now behind Courtney.
2 to go, Craig, 2 to go. Watch your back.
Murphy goes with him.
There's only a half a second lead.
2 full laps remaining. We've ridden every amazing bump, every curve. We've gritted our teeth through the chase. We've banged off the walls up the cutting, gone flying across the top of the mountain, and it's all come down to this. Clearly, Greg Murphy has something in the tank left to have a shot at Stephen Johnson. He keeps crawling up the back of car 17, Cromley.
Well, it's a seesaw, you know. Oh, who was that? Was that Courtney? Has a big tank slapper at McPhillamy.
That was Courtney, and you watch Johnson pounce on that. It's just enough to bring him back. That gap was starting to pull away and pull away. The dry line right on the right-hand side of that circuit, through the dipper.
The problem at the moment, Matty, is that if you do have a crack at someone, you're going to have to come out of that groove on the track that's beginning to appear. So when you do that, there'll be no grip at all. And Stephen has to run defensive into Forrest's elbow.
Big spin from Greg Murphy. Big wheel spin.
It's all or nothing now. You'd be prepared to risk it and bin it if you had to. Just gas it up and see what you get. Third, fourth. Murph won't mind. If it can vault him up the order, he'll take the punt.
The front of this train, we got a 2-time winner. At the back of it there in 4th position, we got a 4-time winner. In between, 2 young guys who really want to get that top spot on the podium. They've fought and fought the whole way. This will be the final lap.
Last lap, James. Last lap, mate.
1 lap to go in the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000. Can you believe what has transpired?
Nice and smooth, buddy.
Especially in the last 30 minutes. Lowndes leads us into turn 2. Courtney, second. You're looking out of James's car onto Stephen Johnson. Ford have 1, 2 and 3. Can Greg Murphy break that chain?
Ritter actually lost a spot. Owens climbed up over him, but look at this. The lights are ablaze for Greg Murphy. He's all over the back of Stephen Johnson at the top of the hill. 2/3 of a lap to run for these guys. Lowndes has kicked clear, then James Courtney, then Stephen Johnson, and Greg Murphy trying to hold up the Holden flag.
When they came here 12 months ago, Craig Lowndes had tears in his eyes. A lot of emotion in this car and around this track. They return in 2007 with a brand new Team Vodafone Falcon. Their strategy has paid dividends. He goes a little wide at Forrest's elbow.
That was a massive understeer moment for Lowndes, followed by the corresponding slide in the rear as he gathered it back up.
1.7-second lead.
They're just Mark Dutton really trying to calm things down, saying, come on, mate, here's your margin, no need to push it. A few corners to run now for Craig Lowndes. It looks like he might be able to do it again. What a finish.
Through the chase he goes. Courtney still holding on to second. Johnson still holding on to third. They won it at Sandown. And in 2007, Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup, they have done the double. Courtney second, Johnson third, Greg Murphy in fourth.
Unbelievable. Fantastic driving from all 4 of these men in incredibly difficult conditions.
Jamie Whincup. Jamie Whincup. Here he is, Jamie. That is unbelievable. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Craig brought it home nicely. It's amazing, unbelievable.
When you came in and that pit stop was crucial and you dumped it into the sand there, I know you were...